what are the most common places that we get parasites every day? Like, and how can people start to change their environment? I don't know, kitchen habits,
Hmm.
travel protocols. What can people do to reduce their exposure? Because I think it's impossible to completely get rid of parasites from your environment because we're so surrounded. So, what are some things that people can do to sort of minimize the exposure?
I agree. There's no way to say that you are zero parasites, that all of these things are just going to magically go away. We're just in too much of a toxic environment every day now. And with our toxic buckets overflowing in our bodies, there's no realistic way of saying, okay, one and done. I mean, I see it all day long on my social media accounts that, oh, it's a one and done. No, we just need to be conscientious. And so, to answer your question, we really just need to make sure we're soaking our produce. And I have a really amazing produce soak that I'll go over. I also use a ozone bubbler by Therasage that I actually do the two things together to make sure that I'm protecting myself to the best of my ability. So my produce soak is 2 cups of white vinegar, a half of a lime, 2 tablespoons of sea salt, and distilled or filtered water, 1 gallon. I put it in like a container. I let it soak for 5 to 10 minutes. And then I get another container. I fill that full of distilled or filtered water. I put in my Therasage and I let my produce sit in this ozone bubbler to get additional bacteria and pesticides off of my produce and just allow me to actually eat the cleanest. Also biohacked because
Yeah.
the sea salt helps add more magnesium, so you're actually adding more into your produce, and ozone helps in a natural way to help remove bacteria out of your body so that you're just consuming the best food possible. I also stopped eating salmon, which I'm so sad about because salmon, I would eat it 3 times a week minimum. If I do ever eat it again, it will have to be fully cooked. Don't eat anything raw. And if you're going to eat steak and pork and bacon, it needs to be really cooked. Our animals are also out in the environments.
Yeah.
And we're eating their blood, their tissue, and their muscle. And so, what makes us think that as humans, we can't absorb the same exact thing that they have absorbed out in the wild? So, it's really just making sure that you are cleaning your produce, making sure that you're not eating anything raw, making sure that you're only drinking the best of your ability, bottled water that is a sourced and confirmed clean water, and making sure you're not eating ice that's from the tap, because let's be real, these restaurants, they don't care, and they're gonna look at you funny. When anyone travels with me and goes to a restaurant, the first thing I say is they'll like pour the water and I'm like, you can take that water. I would like to have glasses, no ice, a lime, and bottled water only. And they're like, okay. And here in Seattle, the water has been indoctrinated to them that it's gold. So I mean, it's the best water ever because it's mountain water and there's no way anything could ever go wrong. And I like pull out the report if anyone ever argues with me. I'm like, this has nematodes. So you can drink your worms, but I would like bottled water or no water at all. Thank you.
I mean, I feel like if you're still drinking tap water these days, you're kind of living under a rock. Let's just
Yeah.
be honest. But I
Yeah.
mean, I traveled to Thailand last year, and that was the big thing was like, oh, don't drink any ice, don't drink any of their water. You'll get really sick and things like that. And that was kind of like the first time I've heard about that because it's not really common practice here in Australia.
Right.
I mean, I don't drink tap water anymore. It's completely reverse osmosis filtered. But in those countries, it's common practice to do these things. With your produce soak, you didn't mention baking soda. I've heard people use baking soda in their produce soaks. Is there a reason for that?
I am not a fan of it. And when you add vinegar to the baking soda, you're actually canceling it out because you're creating a salt. People
Really?
take the vinegar and the baking soda because of the effervescence, but you're actually like science is that you're canceling out anything that could potentially be killing because it just creates a salt. So now you've just salted your produce versus actually going in, making it an alkaline base, and it's inhospitable for anything to live in it. And then because I'm even more careful, that's when I brought in the Therasage, which is like this little $100 machine. It's the best. You can make ozone water with it, which I rinse out my mouth with ozone water to kill bacteria. You can use an ozone gas. Like there's so many great things that this $100 machine actually does. That's pretty amazing. But I do want to touch back on the water really quick.
Yeah,
I
go
don't
for it.
think that people realize that when you are bathing in water, you are actually absorbing up to 2 cups of water every 15 minutes, and everything in that water, pharmaceuticals, heavy metals, parasites, mold, bacteria, all those things live in water. And so your skin is your biggest organ and it's the biggest absorber. It's actually the best way to introduce medicine into your body is your skin. And the next one is a tincture. And that's why I created the tinctures, because there's no fighting going on in your body for the medication to absorb. So when you look at water, most people think, oh, well, it's hydrating me, but really it's doing so much more than hydrating your body. And so you can do baths that have like Epsom salt and magnesium and it's absorbing. So everything in the water absorbs. So you want to be conscientious. I travel a lot. I take my own filter because I don't know what's in that water. I mean, I have an idea. It's
Yeah.
quite sketchy. And Bali and Thailand, their water's bad, but so is ours. Our water is just as bad from everywhere that I've tested. It's just as bad in the United States as it is everywhere else.
I feel like it could be potentially more toxic with all the
Me
chemicals
too.
and stuff that get put in it. But I mean, people are still drinking it like it's
It's
liquid gold.
crazy. I'm telling you, Jordan, when I go to a restaurant here in Seattle, the looks that I get, people are like, what do you mean you don't want the tap water?
Yeah,
I'm
you're
like,
seen as like weird. I've experienced that as well.